Welcome to the Multifamily Marketers Podcast, the show where we help you market your properties better. I'm Josh Grillo, co-founder here at Resident 360. I'm also joined by my co-host, our director of digital marketing, Caroline Mills. Caroline, how you doing? I know you're getting ready for a big trip this week.
I am getting ready for Multifamily Strategic Marketing Summit out in Napa. So I got a big travel day coming up, but I am excited for today. We've got a special host and who's going to be joining us.
Well, yes, we do. We have a special guest, Connor Wilson. He is one of our senior SEO strategists here at Resident 360. This guy lives and breathes SEO, Caroline. He is so good. And he's worked on, all right, Connor, I'm just going to throw you right at the wolves. You used to work with Lowe's, right, on their SEO team, and they had I think when we were talking a long time ago, you're like thousands and thousands and thousands of pages you're responsible for optimizing. Am I telling the truth here? Is this the case?
You are, and unfortunately, you're kind of underselling it a little bit. So we would break up our team by subfolders, and mine at one point was consisted of like 2 million URLs on the site. It was every product description page on Lowe's.com that you see. We would compare it to trying to report on the weather for the whole planet at the same time whenever we had to report on that. So it was definitely teach you to work as a team and work with others, because you cannot do that alone. And so, but yeah, great experience for sure. And definitely grateful for it.
Who won the SEO battle when you were around? Was it Lowe's or was it Home Depot?
Unfortunately, it was Home Depot by several miles. We were always chasing them by quite a bit. So hopefully I'm not sharing too much there by saying that, but I think you can probably figure that out by doing a couple searches.
Awesome. Well, we wanted to bring on Connor today to really kind of do an update on what's working right now when it comes to SEO and AI. There's just so much information out there. And Caroline and I were thinking, what better way to bring in one of our own senior SEO strategists to talk about, kind of like what we're doing here at Resident 360 with SEO, what we're doing with property websites. We run SEO for tons and tons and tons of properties out there across the US. And Connor, let's just start. What's actually changed in SEO because of AI in, let's say, the last 6 months? Has there been any big changes?
Great question. I think as far as what has changed, it's been a sort of natural evolution of what we see via algorithm updates for years now. How the actual SERP is looking, what we're actually targeting. And even a different way to ask that question is what hasn't changed, because a lot of it is still based on those best practices. When you think of EEAT, experience, expertise, authority, trustworthiness, it's so much more based in that than any, nifty little tools, things like that are coming out. We're always going to have that kind of innovation in SEO. We hear about LLMs, a lot of new things on kind of the cutting edge. But if you still stick to those best practices, if you're still optimizing for a great user experience, answering user intent, any of those little technical bits can kind of take you a little bit further. But really sticking to those basics are going to take you where you need to go when you're targeting all these AI results and everything like that.
When you said EEAT, what is that again for everybody that's listening?
Yeah, so EEAT is a great way to think of SEO when you're actually optimizing your website. It stands for experience, expertise, authority, and trustworthiness. So it used to just be EAT without the experience, but understanding that a user's experience on the website, how it loads, how they're able to interact with things, how they're able to find their answer on the website is a super important factor in all that as well.
Awesome. And are you starting to see Google send less traffic because of AI overviews?
We're definitely seeing an increase in zero-click searches where people will search, again, what they're looking for. You get that AI overview that gives them their exact answer. They don't end up clicking onto any website. So Google, in a way, is kind of stealing that traffic, if you don't think of it that way. So it definitely, again, it shifts the target a little bit on the SERP of you want to be included in the AIO. You want to be one of the resources cited within that AIO, because that increases your chance of actually getting one of those clicks, because we're seeing, again, a significant decline a significant increase in zero-click searches. And so, yeah.
So with
Connor, how are you guys tracking that right now? Are you kind of looking at keywords that you're getting in Search Console, or how are teams, wondering if they're showing up in that?
Yeah, it's a great question. So that's where there's a lot of innovation, a lot of change happening. A lot of like the historic, more commonly used tools, I should say, like SEMrush, you're able to track and see where you're popping
Mm-hmm.
up in the AI overview or ChatGPT, whatever it may be, for a given result. A number of other tools are also coming out of the woodwork for that as well. And so that's something we're just continuing to kind of wait and see. We're seeing that evolve, and we'll see what data we can get from that, because everyone's trying to keep up with that at the same time.
Absolutely.
How should multifamily marketers think differently about SEO now that search results kind of contain those zero click answers, right? Like how should they be thinking? Because I'm thinking about it, and I know that Resident 360, we show up in a lot of zero click searches, but the reality is, I don't know if anybody's even clicking to go over to our website. They're seeing the answer right there at the top, but are they even clicking over? I mean, again, we're being referenced off to the side and stuff, but are people actually clicking through?
It's a great question. And when you bring it back to multifamily, like you said, we're very well aware that historically it's a difficult thing to have a lot of content on your site, which is typically what's going to get you in the game for these AI overviews, or even for historic, like SERP features, like the people also ask box, things like that. And so it's getting creative for where can we add content? Where can we fit in those things to try to rank better for those AIOs? Because again, getting in there, getting cited for one of those is really your best shot in a lot of cases for getting someone to click through. So it's getting creative. It's kind of facing that challenge a little bit. I would say it's a little bit more difficult in our industry, I'm sure others as well, to get there and to optimize your site in a way that's going to help you get in that game. But it's a battle worth fighting for sure.
Let's talk strategy really quick. So what type of content is starting to perform or is performing well in such as like AI driven search environments, these zero clicks and so forth? Like what type of content are you guys producing? What type of content have you seen out there that's, actually generating results?
Yeah, really the most natural, and I guess the biggest low hanging fruit is going to be FAQ content. So a lot of AI search, we see it's very conversational. It really lends to a lot of that long tail keyword research we've always done in SEO. Super low volume, super high intent, and again, leaning even a little more long tail to where it's very conversational. FAQ sections are really the easiest way to kind of get that on your site. And I'll bring this up where, we kind of started off with where has SEO changed or where has it not changed? A way it's kind of changed in reverse a little bit is that schema markup, where that was deprecated in a way a couple of years ago by Google, where a normal .com site wasn't typically able to rank or get that kind of FAQ rich result. It was more for really high authority sites. Now we're seeing that using that same schema markup is a really valuable tool in getting those FAQ sections, getting other areas of your site a little more visible to not only Google, but a lot of these other, crawlers, bots, whatever agents they may use for ChatGPT, AIOs, whatever else it may be. And so, using those areas where that long form content, that really conversational content kind of fits in naturally, tagging up with some schema, and of course, focusing on that authority and topical authority expertise of your website. That's a great recipe to get in some of those AIOs and avoid those zero click searches.
Is traditional keyword research, is that still enough now, or is that kind of like a dead thing? I mean, again, we started off by saying that, a lot of the old stuff is still, still worth doing, like the normal things that you would do, which typically is keyword research. But is that kind of still a thing or not so much?
Absolutely. I don't think that's going away anytime soon. It certainly hasn't gone away now. As long as those best practices, again, coming back to authority, coming back to topical authority, coming back to trustworthiness, as long as that's always in play, having your eye on those traditional keywords or really target keywords you're going after, that's going to be super important, kind of having your eye on the ball in a way. So I would say absolutely, it's still part of the game, and extending that a little bit to more long tail keyword research, a little bit more, it's always going to be super important.
What about questions? Like coming up with series of questions that we think somebody might be asking when it comes to, renting an apartment, if it's, a what's the best, I was using it, what's the best 2-bedroom downtown apartment in San Diego that allows for dogs and has a pool for a rooftop deck? like how is it keyword research, is it kind of like morphing into thinking about questions as well? Like what kind of questions can you create off of these keywords that people might be typing in, and then literally embedding them throughout the site and throughout that FAQ page? Is that is that part of the strategy?
Certainly can. I think you can definitely take your amenities, the things that make your property very unique, and kind of weave those into the FAQs in a very natural way. Like people searching for, you know, are there dog-friendly apartments in this area of San Diego? Something like that. We can certainly write that because someone's likely going to search that. And so it's finding a way to very naturally, without looking like it's super self-promotional, fitting in those amenities, those things that make your property super unique into those FAQs. And I think it's a great strategy.
All right. Well, what mistakes are you seeing multifamily marketers make when it comes to SEO right now? Like, what are you seeing? You come across so many different property websites, and you got to be like, oh man, I see where they're missing it. They're totally missing the boat here with this one. So, what are typical mistakes that people are making?
I think the biggest thing, not only multifamily, but kind of across the web with AI, is people just mass producing really fluff, kind of junky content from ChatGPT or whatever it may be, and just kind of throwing it on the website. Part of going right back to the EEAT is making sure you have that human voice. Google is very good already, and they've been good at a while for detecting AI content. And if they detect that, you're not really going anywhere. If you have that human touch, if you can have that really organic voice and organic kind of presentation of your content, it's going to put you in a much better spot to rank well. And so I would say it's the biggest thing is forgetting that human element, forgetting what it really means to present an authoritative, trustworthy page or website. I'd say it's definitely the biggest thing.
Okay, I'm going to put you on the spot with this one. What about blogs? Now, let's just say a property blog, which we don't see a lot of those because they obviously they are a heavy lift for a management company, a property to actually do. But I would imagine if somebody is doing them today, they're probably doing exactly what you said, which is creating a ton of content just through ChatGPT, running through and having Chat create the whole entire content calendar, then having Chat write all the articles for it. So, love it, hate it. Is that a strategy that people should stop doing, continue doing? What is your thoughts there? Or if they have a blog, should they really be thinking about having very human-centric content?
Yeah, I think blogs are absolutely a super valuable tool, especially in this age of AI results, long tail searches, really conversational searches. And it really adds to an authoritative profile, if you will, of your site, of being able to dive into some topics that it wouldn't seem super easy or organic to really dive into on, say, a homepage, like an FAQ page. But exactly like you said, that's the danger of just kind of pumping out 20, 50, whatever articles at a time with ChatGPT and just throwing them on your website. It's got to look intentional. It has to be intentional, and it has to have that human touch to it. And the secret is no human is really reading your blog. I'm going to tell you that right now, especially in the multifamily space. Very few people are actually clicking there, but you're writing this more for the search engines. I will say that much. You're writing this for them to understand the authority, the topical expertise of your website so that you can get into those AIOs, those better search results. And then the people who are just searching for an apartment with this feature, that feature, this neighborhood, they're going to pop up for those people. So don't write it expecting that you're suddenly going to see 40 leads come through from an awesome blog post, but write it thinking you're really increasing that expertise of your website, and you're gonna rank better for results people are actually going to click into.
Advice.
Like that. Yeah.
Caroline, anything from you?
I think FAQs are one of my favorite things, and we've talked about this in some other website optimizing episodes, but I personally love it as a prospect or like a renter looking for somewhere to live. If the office isn't open, just being able to kind of look and have some questions. And then we've always posed it also helps save your leasing team time, beyond just the SEO, advantage that it's bringing you, or the GEO advantage. I love having an FAQ. I'll say the caveat is keeping it up to date. So if you've got fees in there, you've got, limited time offers, you have all this stuff, is just definitely keeping it up to date. But I love an FAQ page. I think they're great.
All right. So with that, Connor, I'm going one last question to you, and then we'll wrap it up. What are your top 3 things that somebody should prioritize on their property website, right? They're thinking SEO, they're thinking AI, they're thinking, these AI overviews. Like, what would be your top 3 things that they should consider prioritizing?
I would say 1 is prioritizing your Google business profile, very specifically the landing page that links from the website button on there. It's typically going to be your homepage within the multifamily space, but we know when that landing page is super well optimized, along with other factors on the business profile itself, but when that is super well optimized, it increases the chances, I would say, of that profile ranking well within the map pack, and that's going to drive a significant amount of clicks. That process of optimizing is also going to help you, of course, rank better for AIOs if done properly. We talked about FAQs. I think having FAQs either on that homepage or having a great FAQ page, a dedicated FAQ page on the website, which obviously Google's going to crawl. I think it's a great opportunity to get there as well. Tagging that up with schema markup, along with really authoritative, well-written content, that'll be a great thing as well. I will say those technical tools like schema, things like that, aren't just going to lift you on their own. It's got to be good. It has to be authoritative. It has to be well executed. And apart from that, I would say being as specific as possible. Again, these AI results, these questions, they're very conversational. They're very specific. If you are, again, in San Diego, you may not be able to rank for apartments in San Diego right now, but you can rank within your specific neighborhood, your specific zip code, your specific area, something like that. So I think between your Google Business Profile landing page, optimizing for FAQs, and then getting really specific about where you are, even what you offer, I think that's the very best you can do, finding your niche and letting Google find you.
Awesome. Great advice. So get hyper focused when we're thinking about this, right? Not just San Diego, but what specific little area are you in? What are you around? Get hyper focused with that. Well, I appreciate it. Caroline, any last thoughts before we close out with Connor?
Thank you, Connor. We're excited to have you. This has been a hot topic, and I know something you're just constantly going over. We've got new GEO reporting platforms. We've got new AI reporting we're giving out. So lots of trends, lots of talks in the industry. And I know it's just something you are constantly staying updated on and talking with clients weekly about.
Yeah,
all right, Connor. We
Great.
appreciate you having you on today. And for everybody listening to the show, thanks for tuning in. We will see you next week with another episode of the Multifamily Marketers Podcast. Until then, take care, guys. And Caroline, safe travels at the Multifamily Strategic Marketing Summit. And if anybody's at the show, please visit Caroline. We are in booth number 33, I believe. So hopefully we will see you there. Take care, everybody. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys. Bye.